So Karen, when you hear the word like self-care,
Mm-hmm.
what does it mean? What did it mean to you when you were in your 20s?
You just be. So don't go away.
So Karen, when you hear the word like self-care,
Mm-hmm.
what does it mean? What did it mean to you when you were in your 20s?
In my 20s, we were definitely brought up to just hustle and really work really hard. So and societal, peer pressure, that kind of thing. We don't really look into it and practice it religiously. So don't go away. I think a lot of older folks like myself will actually understand that it's not perceived as a good thing to self-care because it's like you're being lazy, you're not making use of every minute of the time that you're awake. And I remember one of the things that I struggle with is I actually do not know how to have a downtime. For years and years, I would feel guilty for resting or having a little nap, or I feel that I need to be productive every single moment of the day. And that's so ingrained. I noticed that it's more with older generation than younger generation.
I actually agree because like I think that maybe because of the dialogue that's been fed to us growing up, it's very different. So like when we feel tired, we really feel like we can say that, like, no, I'm tired. Like I don't want to do this today.
Right.
Like whereas when you say like there's a guilt, right? There's a different sense of accountability.
There'll be times where I get really annoyed when someone young and then they say, "Oh, I'm too tired, I can't." And then my immediate judgment, my brain will go, "Oh, she's so pampered, so typical." And I want to talk about that in another episode. But right now, what I'm trying to say is, over the years, I've learned that it is so important to self care. And as many of you knew, I went through a massive depression a couple of years ago, and it was not a pleasant thing. And it was pure burnout and stress that actually makes this whole period was a lot worse. And I've learned to allow myself to take care of myself, because it's like you can't give much of yourself if you are not in a good place, right? And I think that when you are happy, you make better decisions, you talk to people in a better way, and you actually have more perspective better when you're making any decision or conversation. When you're in a good place, you actually make better decisions, and even just generally feeling like, okay, I'm in a good place. Don't you agree?
I do. The thing about self-care is that it's also the way it's been commercialized. That type of self-care, the one that everyone thinks is the definition, is not actually the one that fuels us in those ways, that gives us that sense of relief.
No, I think, yeah, like you're talking about the massaging.
To get the outcome that you were describing, it's more of the self-care that comes from within, the freedom to tune out and to do things that feed your like soul. Self-care could even be like choosing to eat something that's good for you today, like not having that hamburger and going for like another option that's actually taking care, and you do feel good after that. It could be that walk that you've been putting off. It could be that phone call to that distant relative that you've been avoiding for a very long time because you're too busy. The smaller thing.
There's a doctor, by her name is Dr. Lisa Masconi. So she did a study on menopause brain and how with the depletion of hormone, there's a correlation to dementia and anxiety. And that's a real thing. That's actual study showing that there is a correlation when we reduce, when we have depletion of our hormone, causing this anxiety and stress. And that's why I want to advocate, and to all women out there, whether you are in your 35 or 45 or 55, it really doesn't matter. Practice this very simple self-care method that I make myself do every day, and not feel guilty about it, because it's just a matter of 30 minutes of your day, really.
And what's the routine like?
Some of the things that I think there's a lot of experts who talks about it, like whether it's meditation or writing a book or reading a book or journaling or even just walking. One particular speaker that I admire very much, Rob Dial, he talked about that when you do this routine, it shouldn't be a chore. It shouldn't be like so difficult that after a while you give up doing it because you feel like, oh, I have to wake up again to do this and all that. It should be something that you're quite happy, your body just, okay. There are three main components, which is your mind, your body, and your soul. So for your mind, obviously, it's when you wake up, you know, just think about what you want to do that morning. Maybe at 6:30 you woke up and you say, maybe today I feel like reading a book for half an hour. And that fills you up. That fills your cup up for the day. Or maybe you say, okay, the weather is really good, it's cool, I'm going to walk for half an hour. It doesn't have to be a fixed routine, but using that 30 minutes, which is you're filling up your mind. The second thing is your body. So body is obviously exercise. When you exercise, the happy hormone kicks in. You find yourself being stronger, and that's something, right? And then, of course, the soul, it could be something that you look at ways that you can think and be within yourself and be positive to yourself. We talked about
the soul one. It could be something like as simple as going to the mirror and really just like talking to yourself. I think you mentioned this in another episode.
And saying high five, hi Karen, I love you Karen, that kind of thing. Inner prayer. I do meditate. I do my prayers every morning. I also try, which I've been practicing a lot lately, and I find that it gives me a little smile every time I say it, which is every morning I just say thank you for the bed that I have, or thank you that I have food for myself and for my family, or I thank you for my silly dog that makes me so happy. Every evening I do the same, just to say thank you to the universe, to God, to whatever you believe in really, and just say, yeah, thank you. Because if a friend comes to your house and gives you something nice, and you say thank you, right? But if you don't, do you think your friend will come back again? If I were to come and give you a nice cake or something, and you don't even acknowledge, and you kind of go, oh, again, honestly, do you think I'll come back again with another piece of cake? No. Yeah. So the same with the universe. Even if you had a lousy day, but surely in that day, if you set your mind and look at, oh, well, I'm so grateful I have a nice drink today that was so refreshing and clean, or I had a really good workout with a friend. Those are little things that you say thank you to.
And most of the time we dismiss that, right? We're just like, oh, yeah, it was just a normal day. Oh, it was quite nice. It was fine. Correct. But we don't validate it internally. But there is a power in that because it makes you literally count all of the good things. And if you start your day like that or end your day like that, it at least sets you in a very strong inner narrative of how your day was and how lucky you are. Like, it really helps because recently I've been having like a tough time with something, and my partner literally asked me, name 5 things you're happy about. It really just forces you to, it shifts your energy towards the good.
In self-care, it's not wrong to prioritize yourself, especially again when we are busy. There's a lot of obligation. If you give out so much time to someone else, is it wrong to give 30 minutes for yourself every day?
You should answer that in the comments below.
I had to take years to stop feeling guilty about taking a nap or just shutting the door and taking half an hour just to meditate or do some yoga stretches. A few years ago, I tried to do this. So what I would do is 5-minute timers. And then I would sit in the toilet stall and just calm down my brain for a little while. That helped me deal with all the stressful situations. Have you ever done that?
I have those moments where I just need to be quiet and let my mind just go blank. especially with stressful situations, so that you're not reacting. You're actually allowing everything to just sit in that moment for a while. I do that, and it does help.
You actually get more creative ideas, better perspective when your brain to stop and think a little bit of something else, and instead of the existing thinking about the good things that are happening, or clearing your headspace to allow other creative solutions.
When I get too stressed with work, I actually shut down my entire, even though I haven't moved, I'll shut down and I'll just like stop for a moment. And then it's that whole sense of restarting your computer again. And you're just like, okay, here we go.
Oh, I love the analogy. It's like you reboot your computer, right?
Yeah.
So if something's not working in your computer, technicians will tell you, okay, shut everything down and reboot, and then usually it works. When was the last time you reboot yourself?
Probably yesterday. Yesterday, I really had some downtime. I closed the door, I put on music, and I have this really nice aura lighting that I really like. So it makes it look like there's ripples in the ceiling. And I just lay there. Whenever I want to zone out, I grab my phone. But now I'm consciously making sure I don't grab my phone, because that's actually another outlet of attention. So I actually like put my phone down and just really just be. I did not think about anything for I was just looking at the lights. Oh, so pretty. It felt so good. And then I got out of the room and I just felt so much better. When you're stressed, right, you actually hold your breath unintentionally. Yeah. You just need to remember to sort of breathe, and you're like, oh, okay, I feel better now, because you're actually regulating your own breath, and that has its own benefits. I'm not going to get into it because I don't know. But breath work is something that people do to decompress, right?
Correct. Yeah.
I think you breathe out for 4 seconds, hold the box breathing, all these things. But your body naturally does breathe quite well if you just let it, if you're not tensed.
I think one of the things that I can teach right now is the breath work that I did, especially when I was going through that depressive state, was actually you breathe for in, you hold for 2, and then you breathe out. And very deeply and purposefully, so your chest should be. The master who was teaching me at this point, she actually said that the first thing when she saw me, she said, Karen, you're just not breathing well at all. By doing that breathing exercise, and we went through for 2 or 3 sessions, every obstacle or every worry I had was actually melting away. It's like literally I'm breathing in clean, good energy, and breathing out all the negativity and all that. And I found that to be very enlightening, because we take it for granted. When you're anxious or when you are panicking, that's how we're breathing, and we don't realize it, fast pacing. And then but when you allow that deep breath in and deep breath out, imagine all that clean oxygen circulating all over your body and feeding. After that, you breathe out, is you're letting go of all your concerns and your worries of the day. So that does bring your level of stress down, because if you don't control your stress levels, if your potential of having depression, dementia, severe anxiety attacks in the future. So please heed my advice. This is super important and it's very close to my heart, and I wish that no one has to go through that kind of anxiety attacks. This is just for entertainment purpose. But tell us what you want us to talk about. Tell us what you like us to share, whether you want us to bring more speakers, tell us what we can do to make this more interesting for you.
Yes, we would like to know in the comment section below, or you can actually reach out to us if you're following us on any of our social media platforms. Women in Midlife.
Thanks. Bye.